So.
Are we starting? Welcome to Psychic Holistic Spotlight. This is Kathy here. We have co-hosts Josie Way and Bill Hannon, and we have a very interesting guest today. Her name is Kristen Stone. She does a little bit of a lot. She's a psychic, she's a medium, she's a Reiki teacher. She practices Reiki as well. So, Kristen, how did you get started on all this?
I have been able to do things since I was born, basically. So I have everything that just kind of coincided. It wasn't until my teenage years that I started realizing that I could really understand and feel what people were doing and what was going on. And then in my 20s is when I got into healing work and really went from there and have been doing it professionally since.
Okay. So what's the healing work? What does
Reiki, new paradigm healing, which is the Shambhala upgrade. I teach it as well. So I can teach all those modalities and just keep working and learning new stuff every time.
So you read cards, right?
Yes.
Is it the tarot or is it the oracle cards?
I do both, but I tend to stick with the tarot more.
Okay. So how long have you been doing that for?
I have been doing that since I was 15.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yes.
It's a long time. So this stuff keeps you pretty busy.
Well, she's not that old. It's not such a long time.
She knew how old I was.
So all this stuff
you
keeps
had
you busy.
mentioned tarot or another set of cards.
Oracle.
Oracle. Thank you.
Oracle, yeah. That's the official name for the angel cards.
Yes.
Yeah. So when did you start the Reiki though? Was it the 20s?
Yeah, I was 23.
23. So when were you able to start teaching it at 23?
No, I started teaching when I was 29.
Okay, so it took you a few years to get all the levels.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what's the difference between the Shambhalic Reiki and now that it's called New Paradigm?
The guy who had developed it, John Armitage, he had, it had been Shambhala 1, 2, 3, and 4 for years, and then there was a big lawsuit in actually the US, I believe, that had done, between him and the name of Shambhala, so he had to change it, and then he shifted the whole thing into New Paradigm.
Okay.
So anybody who teaches Shambhala should have that upgrade because it's no longer Shambhala.
Okay.
Yeah. How does it differ than regular Reiki or Karuna Reiki?
It's still the hand positions, but there's no limitation. So you don't have to follow rules, you don't have to do it certain ways, as with Reiki is very limited. The new paradigm it's free-flowing if you feel. You have to have like a hand on your forehead and a hand on your leg. You'll have to be doing some reaching, but it definitely brings in more energies as well, rather than just the universal energy you're working with, multidimensional energies. So it's in all different areas.
And I'm sorry. No. And you can insert some other modalities like crystals.
Yes.
Which aren't normally used with Reiki.
Correct. Yes.
Now, you know a lot about crystals too, right?
I do.
Okay. So which ones would be best though for the paradigm healing?
It depends on the person, because every crystal can mean 1,000 different things to each person's energy.
Okay.
So everything has to. So if when you're doing the crystals with energy work, you have to know, as a practitioner, what's going to work for that person.
Okay, so it's a little bit of intuitive and a little bit of knowledge of the crystals. Okay. So like say the clear quartz though, which is good for psychic energy, right?
It could be for psychic, but you can also, if you know how to use the crystals, you can actually use it for any crystal. You can actually make it have the energy of a different crystal if you need to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right, though, the clear one, yes.
The clear ones also can be used with others because they amplify the energy of the others.
Yeah, so is the pink,
Yeah, the pink quartz too.
Right. So I wanted to ask you now, you say that you have less restrictions, that you actually can move to where you're drawn to move when you're in a session. Does that also incorporate being able to work within the field rather than actually having a hand on a person?
Correct.
Right, okay, that's good.
Yes.
Because I've done Reiki many years, but I was taught to work in the field first.
Right.
And so even though it's not part of Reiki, I'm constantly jumping between one and then hands-on. So
yeah, because sometimes there's certain areas that need to be on the outside rather than on. It's not all hands-on.
Right. Yeah.
Now, with the paradigm, does it go through the chakras of the front and the back at the same time, though, or do you have
Yes.
to? Okay, so you don't have to intend it.
No, you don't have to
Okay.
intend it. It actually just happens because
Okay.
you're working within the different layers of your aura and the different levels.
Yeah,
So
because I
it's
know
really
with Reiki, some teachers teach it that you have to basically, in essence, flip the person, from the
Right.
back though to the front. But a lot of times I find though, it's like when they come into us, they physically cannot move
No,
that well.
no.
Right.
So when I teach it though, you make sure that the energy goes through the other side as well too, in case the person cannot physically move over.
Right.
So you don't have to do that with the paradigm energies.
Right. Yeah, because it's all encompassing of what's in
Okay.
the field altogether. So,
Okay.
and plus, you're getting people to move, flip over, even if they can't. But then it's also disrupts the energy because then you're getting them to reposition themselves as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, do you do the crystals with the chakras though for the paradigm?
I do.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So there's, no, I shouldn't say certain ones for that though, because you just said though that, depending on the person. So there's like no one standard set of crystals that you
No.
use for that?
No,
Okay,
because
so you
there's
just
no
have
really,
one.
there's no standard for
Okay.
anything.
Okay. Well, that's true, it does differ though, like you said.
Do you have certain crystals that you find you're using a lot? I mean, people are undergoing similar stresses and things in life. Are there some that repeat frequently?
Yeah, because each energy shift there is within the universe, within the whole worldwide, and whenever everything shifts, so you're going to find that, if it's communication all of a sudden for a lot of people, then you're going to use like lapis or, blue lace agate. That there's many more too, but as I do find that there's certain things that shift. Just depends on what's being picked up at that point.
Yeah, I found Amazonite, particularly the flower Amazonite, is very helpful for some people who are having communication problems.
Right, because it's communicating from the heart.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause
That one I've had a lot of
communication's not
success
just the
with.
throat. It's not just to do with talking. It's to communicating
Right.
through certain chakras as well.
And when I give it to them, I say, and you have to listen.
Right.
And I think most of them forget that.
That's half of communication.
Oh, it's the big,
It's the big half.
it's the big half.
Right.
Yes, listening is very hard, but you can.
Two-way street.
There's actually fossils that you can use too instead of just crystals, because you can use the ammonite pieces.
Yeah.
You could have two.
Oh,
put
do
them on either
they
side of the
really?
head, and it'll actually help
Oh.
balance that piece out. And
I
it's
wondered
interesting
why
to
I
hear
was drawn
chakras.
to them.
Well, because we have chakras in our ears that are
Yes, I
blocked.
know that.
So if we use those, that'll actually condense the energy so they can understand.
So instead of a Bluetooth, we'll have a
Yeah, exactly.
tan tooth.
Right.
Now, do you ever receive messages as well though when you're giving the healing, or is that you keep that separate?
No, I do get messages when
Okay.
it's the healing. It's because it's to aid in their healing, because the healing work only stirs it up. They have to still do their work afterwards and listen and, be able to work through that. But there's going to be many things, and they're only going to pick up what they need or what's going to help them move on from that healing session, because it's going to be different. There's layers. So, the messages I get, they surely get. If somebody comes through that, a loved one that has that message for that part of healing, then they're going to get it. I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not
I'm
going
not
to
holding
keep
back.
it. Yeah.
I'm not holding back. It's not my information.
Now, you also get messages from angels and I believe ascended masters.
Yes.
Yes. And once you've communicated with them yourself, you're able to do it with others. And it brings such a wide variety of healing.
It does. Yeah, because it goes on the soul level instead of just the surface level. It goes deep, so it gets into where it needs to be for people.
Yeah.
Now, can you do the when you're giving the healing session? Can you give healing though to like past lives at the same time too, or is
Yes.
that okay? So it doesn't have to be separate.
No.
Okay. All right.
Especially when working with the new paradigm, because that's multidimensional. So
Okay.
remember, we're on
So
many
past
different
and-
levels.
yeah.
It's past lives, it's future, it's everything all together at once.
Have you ever been drawn to doing the healing with animals and young children?
I do it with children. That's just included because I don't exclude anything. I also have children myself, so I work with them on their levels too. But I definitely work with children, teenagers, especially young adults who are having trouble just transitioning from teenage to adults.
Yeah, how does their energy differ?
It depends on the age group. There's many different levels because it seems it's a 3 to 5 year span between the energies of each grouping. So it's noticing where each one's at, and in that particular grouping, because I'm finding out that there's definitely different energies with each group.
So it sounds silly, but it kind of follows some of the psychological profiles of
The
child
development.
psychology and
Yes.
development.
Yeah.
The energy follows.
Well, remember, psychology and spirit work is almost similar.
Yeah,
It's just,
there's a lot
they have
that's
to put the
similar.
scientific name on there, so.
No, I find that working with young kids, though, they absorb the energy much quicker, as a general rule. But the teenagers, though, their energy can be so out of whack, though, because there's so many physical things going on with them.
Right.
Do you find the same thing now for that too, for you?
Yes.
Yes, the hormonal too.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a big component.
Yeah.
And that includes the endocrine glandular system.
Yeah,
And all that's changing. And so the cholesterol, as well as, all these things just play
Right.
such an important aspect in
Yeah,
helping to balance.
Yeah, we talk so much about the spiritual, but the physical goes hand in hand with a lot of that as well, too.
Right,
We forget
physical,
that-
emotional.
Yeah.
It's physical, emotional, not the physical material. Physical, emotional is
Yeah.
the biggest piece for it. So it's just being able to, really help them through each level that they're going through. Teenagers are the hardest, especially from 10 to 15, because they can't control their hormones, emotions. They don't know what they're feeling. So, and that's why doing the healing work on that specific age group actually helps them understand their world, and because nobody understands them, nobody gets them, nobody knows what they're talking about. So it's being able to pull that together and show them that, hey, this is this is who you are, this is where you're
Where you are right
at,
now, yeah.
and here's how you can help yourself through these. Here's the coping skills you need.
Now, so when you do the card readings, we're going to switch it over back a little
Yep.
bit. Do you get the spirit communication as well, too, though, with the cards? Or
Yes.
just, okay, so that's not
The
separated
cards,
either.
well, the cards, you'll see me lay them on the table, but my eyes don't look at them again after that. It's because the communication comes from all directions.
Yeah.
So I just go with it.
So it's
The
one big
cards are
mash,
just a tool.
though.
It's a whole big, everything's just a tool anyways.
That's right. That's a
Yeah.
good choice of words. Is the tool. It's just whatever you may be using in order to bring on a spontaneous flow of information.
Right, because you get caught up in what's this mean, what's that mean, and
Yeah.
you get stuck. It limits
Right.
you, and it's just putting down. Okay, the energy comes up, energy
Right.
comes down, and just let it all flow.
it also helps the person who's receiving it when you're doing cards see images that they can remember to work on healing with.
Right, correct.
Yeah. So a lot of people still like to be able
The
to
visual.
touch something, see
It's
something.
visual.
Yeah.
I tell people to take a picture with their camera, or if I'm in my home, I make a photocopy of the readings.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be a little bit easier that way as well, too. That's one way to do it. Now, with the cards, though, do you stick with, I know with the tarot cards, so they have like a certain set of spreads that you have to be a certain way. I guess you don't do it that way.
Limits, no. I don't follow a particular spread at all.
Okay.
Just like when because I teach the tarot, and I teach everybody whatever you're guided to do, just do it. Because that's how you're going to read it. I've seen people read them backwards. They go from right to left instead of left to right, or they go from the middle and they spread out one way and they go the other way. So everybody has their own flow, but why follow a spread? Because it's generalized information, just like the book that's with the tarot. It's generalized information.
Yeah, it's a guide. Yeah, the
Yeah.
book is definitely a guide.
Because
Yeah.
it's just guides. It's not telling you everything. You're going to get it as you meant to.
Right. Now, when you do the readings, though, do you get like a certain theme that comes up often? No. It varies so much.
It does. Unless, I personally have something going on, then it's going to be a theme of helping me work through that part. Because we get our information.
I've noticed that too for myself, yeah. The key tells like, okay, I'm listening, I get it.
Yes, exactly.
Or what I've said is, this, and this has come up, and it resonates with me. Am I supposed to be following the guidance and advice you just gave this person? And usually it's yes.
I'll be like, all right, thank you.
What I've noticed a lot though for the readings, without going into too much, though, because it is private information for the person. A lot of times it comes up for me though that like the same information keeps coming up for the person. And I have to explain to them, it's like, well, you have to work on that, otherwise you will not get new information when you go for a reading in the future.
Right.
Do you find that a lot though too?
I don't get it too often because I will actually, if I feel like I'm in repetition, I will actually say, you're not listening, it's time, you might need to find somebody else that might be able to give you the information the way you need to hear it.
Yeah, I like that though. Yeah.
That way there, it lets go. It lets everything just kind of be where it needs to be rather than taking it and, constantly repeating yourself, because it's not about that. You're not meant to give them that information.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good not to take it personally.
Oh, yeah.
I always feel
Hey, Gary.
that I'm, a pebble, and eventually, on a balance, and eventually enough pebbles will be dropped that the person will hear what they, and start acting on what they need to act on.
Yeah, because they'll be ready for it.
Yeah, well, I know with me, because I have a problem letting go of certain things, a lot of clients come to me that aren't ready to let go.
Right. I mean, a lot of people hear the information, but they're not really listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not ready to work on it either a lot of times, because if they're not really listening and they don't want to understand it, then
Right.
they're not ready to have that
Right.
piece at this point. But something will click with them though that they'll actually work on to remove the layer to get there.
Now with the spirit communication of the mediumship,
Yes.
do you find like a certain kind of person will come in often for the person that they really want to come in, or like, say like kids or, the grandparent that raised the person?
Okay, so when the mediumship, the way it works for me, just like my readings and everything else, it goes into healing. So the person who comes through is something that they need to hear at that point in time to give them the message to help them work through something that's going on. Because it's always family, it's always friends or something, or the grieving that they haven't been able to actually access at that point in time is what comes through for me more than anything else.
Now, I find a lot of times, like, psychometry is one way that I read, though, for the mediumship. For those that don't know, it's a picture or an object of the person that's passed away, and they leave an energy imprint on that. So a lot of times I ask for that, though, when somebody's asking for a particular person to come in. But a couple of times, though, like somebody else wants to come in first. So a lot of times I would have to acknowledge that person to come in and give the message, and then that energy of that person that they want will come through.
Right, but people put a lot of expectation. They want to hear from this specific person. That blocks anything else that's meant to come in, because it's all about healing. That's why we can do mediumship. That's what the piece is all about. But they come up with expectation, and they have that block. And so it's just, those people, I'll just say, you know what? I'm not the one to read for you. I'm not even gonna take your money. Go ahead, because it's not about that. They're not ready to hear what they need to hear.
Well, again, I think a lot of it has to come down to the frequency
Right.
and what's actually coming through the resonance that's actually working through the ether. And sometimes they can actually feel what you're saying because you feel it.
Right.
You feel it. All right, but a lot of times they won't feel it. But sometimes that they're at the right place when they start to resonate with that frequency. It's how the body interprets, how the body feels it is a confirmation that, hey, there must be some truth to this.
Right.
Look what I'm experiencing. I know that person's right.
Yeah. Now, for the psychic part of the messages, though, that just goes in with the cards or the mediumship that you're doing now?
Yeah, because mediumship, as we know, is not just straight mediumship anyways.
Right.
We have to shift in and out because we can't hold that vibration for that long. Otherwise, we'd puff into thin air.
Yeah. There's definitely that,
So, it's just being able to, because we always swap in and out. There's no strictly just straight mediumship, no matter who we are.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of times where people don't understand that,
Right.
though. Do you find that there's like a lot of people that come in for reading for the first time, though, or a lot of...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been noticing that
Lately,
too.
the last year and a half, there's been a lot more that have been coming in that haven't had it, but they're so afraid too because of the way that it's been portrayed within the communities that it's scary, and it's like, and they've had some horrible experiences if it's not the first time, or they've gone once and they're like, I'm not coming back again because they're afraid because their reading was so horrible, or somebody told them that they're going to die, or this, that, and the other, and that's not stuff we should even delve in anyways.
Yeah, but unfortunately, no, not all of us do this for the right reason, though. So it's
Right.
those people that make it hard for everybody else that does it for the right reason, that actually want to help others.
Right.
So,
That's where people need to do the research.
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that one, though. Yes.
So you mentioned now how do people find out, where you offer your services, or
How to get a
do
hold
you
of
have
you?
how to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I work, out of my house at times, so it's just researching my name. Nice and easy. I also work out of Uplifting Connections in Bridgewater. I've been there
Okay.
for over 3 years. So
Okay,
I
but let's
offer
hold up for a
services there.
second now. What is your name?
Kristen Stone.
Stone. So I got the Kristen, I didn't get the Stone. So that's good.
It actually matches what I do. Yeah. I work a lot with the stones and
Yeah,
stuff.
the ruins, huh? Great, great. So I just wanted to give you an opportunity to.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have a website, do you?
It's still in the works.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
so not yet, so that's coming.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's definitely coming.
It is. It is.
Now, when you're out and about, though, do you get like a lot of random messages for people, though, like when you're at the store or something?
I
Now,
do.
how do you handle that?
If it's really loud, I will, go up to the person and, just say, I do psychic mediumship work. I said not to frighten you, but this is what I do, and, I've got this person, and this is, something that I'm getting. And, I'll say it that way. But if, I feel that they are a little closed off to that, I'll just reach out to them and just give them something, just a little message that is coming through without saying, well, this is this person that, I feel around you or anything like that. I just leave that out, and I just, walk by somebody and just say, oh, you're free now, or, you feel, and just go like that, and just,
Something casual.
yeah, and just keep it that way, and rather than scaring people.
Yeah. TV does not portray reality.
No, it
does
doesn't. I
not.
was about to say that, though, too. So it's like a lot of times what I have to do is explain to people, it's like, it's not what you see isn't necessarily how it really works. So a lot of times I would have to go like explain, okay, this is how I do stuff.
And the other thing that's confusing is some people will get clear things like a name, but they won't get a clear thing about the last name. Spirit communicates in unusual ways at times. They might give you a picture of a rose instead of ROSE, and it's all based on what you've learned. The more you've learned, the more they can work with you.
Right.
Yes, that goes into the learning how to communicate with spirit, though.
Sure, that's part of
Yeah,
the relationship with spirit.
Yeah.
You know.
But people think that we should be able to just tell them everything, like that spirit should spell everything out for them perfectly. And it doesn't happen that way.
Because it's because we're working with it's a soul thing.
Entity, yeah.
And so I won't even go into names. I will not go into that specifics, but I can give you definitely what they're wearing, what they look like, how tall, or the ranges and stuff. But I'm not going to go into that piece because that's for them it's not important either. But for the person sitting here, sometimes it can be. But I will never get into names unless it comes in really strongly.
Yeah, I don't get names though either. Though when I get
Yeah.
spirit messages and stuff, not all of us do though. We all receive information differently.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times it's symbolism more than anything.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. Now, does the mediumship help you with who to stay away from?
No, that's more of your empathy.
Okay.
So it's not about anything else. It's just empathic. Because and empathy is about feeling things out. And if you feel something's not right, then don't go there.
Yeah, you definitely need to pay attention. Yeah.
That's the easiest way, rather than trying to be like using the mediumship, using everything else to get everything where it needs to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so a lot of times we're going into that though, like the energies don't always match up with people, even though a lot of us try to force it.
Right.
So do you see that a lot though in the readings though? Like, okay, will it work with this person or no that person? I mean,
No, because I say just if you're in the flow, it's not going to matter. It's just going to come in exactly as they need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, everybody does different things before they do readings. Do you have any unusual practice to protect yourself so that only the highest and best energy comes through?
See, I do that when I wake up in the morning. because as soon as you leave your house, you're unprotected, basically. So it's the intention for the whole day is to be safe and protected.
I like
when
that.
leaving the home.
That's
That way there, it sets it for the whole day, grounds it, and you don't have to worry about the rest of the day. You're going to still pick stuff up. No matter who we are, we
Right.
still get things.
Yeah.
So, and then you just, but the reason why we would pick something up would be because it's something we need to learn from. And you just, the sooner you learn it, the sooner it goes away. Because all of that stuff works together.
Yeah, as far as the learning though, what I find a lot of people don't realize is like if the same situation or something similar keeps coming back, it's because you're not paying attention to something.
Right.
You know,
Yep.
or if like it's like you always have that difficult teacher in school, and it's just the energy isn't matching up though, and like there's something that you have to look at for yourself as a mirror.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a record on repeat. You have to pay attention too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I find that a lot of people miss that though.
Right.
So.
Yeah, well, I always say thank you when something comes around
yeah.
that references to me as well as to the client.
Yes, that's so
Yep.
important.
I look
though.
up and I'm like, thanks.
The gratitude, yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, I got you, thanks.
I hear you.
You like it when people say thank you to you, you know?
Yeah.
And obviously, I think that's just a great practice to have.
At the end of your day, you just, and that's the whole piece about gratitude too. At the end of your day, to help the energy shift too, is you just sit down for a few minutes and meditate and just, be grateful and be in gratitude and thank everybody who's helped you for the day.
I know if I have problems with mood shifts, and if I get into one, I just go into a gratitude list and start writing either in my mind or on the paper, and then I get back into good energy.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to pull out of those mood shifts that we have.
Yeah, well,
especially-
gratitude,
It
does
goes
it.
a long way, yeah.
It does.
Goes a
It
long
does
way.
go a long
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's also important for you to strengthen the connection between the source that's sharing the information with you and yourself,
Yes.
because you're acknowledging the source of information. And when you do that, I think that goes a long way to strengthen that communication so that they feel
Right.
appreciated. They say,
That's the word I
Right.
heard, appreciation.
right. It's just, who doesn't want to be appreciated?
Yeah.
Right.
You may do something and not expect anything, but when you're appreciated,
Right.
Yeah, you'd want to do it again and help
Right.
people
Yeah.
more, yeah. So we only have a few more minutes, so I just want to go over this again. How do people find you, though, to either get a healing session or a reading?
I can be reached by my email, which is chris79@live.com. And then there's Uplifting Connections in Bridgewater that you can look at that website. It's upliftingconnections.com. And then you'll find the numbers and all that. And then
Just
you
do
can
an open
search me on
session.
Facebook. Yeah, you can put, it's so public. I don't hide. No hiding. And then I'm on Facebook at Kristen Stone.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. So do you think you'd be doing this stuff for the rest of your life?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't
This
do
isn't a
retail.
job, it's a
It's not a
calling.
job. It's a calling.
It
It's
really is,
soul
yeah.
work. It's, something I absolutely love, and it's, it's my life.
Have you had any very interesting cases where you saw a person turn their life around?
Oh, many times. Many times. They come back to me and they let me know. I've had many different things come in, and really it's just amazing, from drug addicts to all sorts of things. And just to see them transform is really that's the most rewarding part of the work.
Oh, yeah.
So what classes do you teach?
I teach New Paradigm. I teach Sui Reiki 1, 2, and 3. I'm a master teacher. I teach Karuna. I teach tarot, crystals. I have a spiritual gathering group that I'm going to be starting up, and there's still many more coming.
Well, yet to come. But that's still a lot of what you're doing right now, though.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's good that you can have so many things you can offer for people,
Right.
whatever they might need that help. What I find, too, is sometimes people need a combination as well.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Is New Paradigm 1, 2, 3, and 4, or just one?
It's actually done in a weekend. 2 days and done. And then you're a practitioner and your healer, so.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So it's 2 full days though for the power
It's 2
down?
days, yes.
Full days, not like
Full
a day
days,
and a half?
yeah,
Okay.
16 hours.
No, that is a
Does
long
that
day.
include like a 2
days.
mix or?
Yep,
Yep, great.
yep.
Yeah.
So it's similar in some ways though to
Yeah,
the Reiki?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, similar in some ways, but it's easier and quicker.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Kathy.
So Kathy, I think that went well.
Yep, thank you though, so it's been great.